This PC was $1,874 in January 2018, but 6 years later today, I found one for $265. And I'm not making this up. I used the Wayback Machine to find my local computer store's website from 2018, and I found a very, very similar PC to what I'm about to show you. And mind you, I'm Australian, so if we convert this $2,499 to US dollars, we get $1,874. What loser would pay $1,800 when you can just pay $265?
Well, actually, you have to wait 6 years and you're gonna lose performance.
Bro, get the f*** out of here. You have a pre-built.
Yeah, but a pre-built
Get the f*** out of here, man.
actually helps you save the environment.
I just found a banging deal on a 2018 gaming PC for $265. And I'm proud to say that I'm going to be picking it up tonight. Okay, so I'm currently on my way to go pick up this computer. We're about to hop into my car and get going. It is currently about like 6 PM, so wish me luck. So 400 Aussie dollars later, the computer is locked in. I'm very happy about it. About an hour and a half later, we've made it back, and you can see we have our computer all seat belted up in the back seat, and we're going to get into that tomorrow morning. After finally hauling this thing home and now finally getting a proper look at it, my first impressions are it's pretty dusty, but the parts look good. We have an i5 8600K being cooled by an NZXT 240mm AIO. We also have 16GB of Trident Z G-Skill RAM. This is probably the highlight of the build, to be honest. Like, these sticks look really, really nice. We've got a Z370 motherboard as well, a GTX 1070 from EVGA, and a 600 watt power supply. And I almost forgot, but the case we have is the Corsair 460X RGB. And here the PC is plugged in, ready to turn on. Oh, it's already boasted. CPU fan error. Oh, so there's our problem. We're plugged into the optional fan. We'll fix that up anyway. We pretty much just checked that the computer works and that we had all the correct parts in the system. And power off. So this PC works, but it doesn't have an operating system. So I'm going to hop online, order an SSD so we can put an operating system on here. We're going to fix that CPU fan issue. We're also going to give this thing a fucking clean because it was pretty disgusting. And also, I've got a surprise for this thing because I think I've got some parts that are going to work really, really well with this thing. So, let's do it. So, we started the cleaning process and it was quite dusty. And, you know, to be fair, it's a 6-year-old PC, so fair enough. We gave the power supply shroud a wipe, cleaned the GPU's PCB. Then it started to get more dusty on the bottom of the case. We take off the PSU shroud and okay, you know, it's fairly dusty. Okay, so let's take out the power supply and... Oh my fucking god. What the f***? Oh my god. Look at that, that is literally disgusting. And look at that. That is caked up within the power supply. Oh my god. Oh. So I took off the fan grill of the power supply and I just pretty much held it upside down, grabbed some toilet paper and just, you know, get all the dust that I could out. But I'm not going to go digging any further because this stuff's dangerous and I do not know what I'm doing. So we're going to put this grill back on. Now that the computer is pretty much clean, like everything's been cleaned, especially this bottom bay, now we can put our power supply back in. Even though it is still looking like, you know, dusty, I've done the best that I have with it. I'm just going to roll with it. In terms of screwing this thing on the back with the 4 screws, its original 4 screws were pretty yuck. Like, look at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace them with these black screws. They're not thumb screws, but they'll look a bit cleaner on the back, just to secure this thing and make it look a little bit nicer. That looks a lot nicer and cleaner. And now I have the really painful task of having to cable manage this again. So a good hour into my cable management and it actually looks pretty good, but for an hour's worth of work, oh my days, I'll show you properly, but it took so long to do, especially since this case, it's not very thick. That was a massive complaint about it when it was new. Like, that's my finger. I don't really know how to measure this metric, but still, it's very skinny to fit cables in between. And like, I had to just use all the space so that cables weren't doubling up on each other so that they could actually all fit in. I haven't even tried closing the whole lid, but I'm going to try it now. And we'll put our GPU in, and I think we can turn this thing on. So, let's do it. And if I just secure it from the back, that should be good, right? Look at that. One thing I'm going to do is I brought some cable combs so that we can make this cable look a bit nice. It's only one extension, like this ketchup and mustard over here is really annoying me. Same with the CPU, which is up there. But if we can at least make this look nice, I'm happy with it. One thing that annoyed me about this case is there is only one hole for all the connections to the motherboard and the graphics card. Our HD audio doesn't have one, same with our USB and front panel connections, which seriously annoys me a bit. Just that little intersection right there is what's annoying me right now, but it's not all too bad. I'm happy with these cable combs because now the cable looks a lot neater and less messy. Really quickly for our upgrades, for our SSD I chose a Crucial P3, a 500GB NVMe SSD, and my rare coincidence that will work really well with this build is that I've got these fans, but they're a little bit old and I don't have the RGB controller for them. These fans are old, like they only have one LED on them or something, and they don't work with like the Corsair like IQ ecosystem, so they have their own controller. But these ones, I realized, I think they were packaged wrong because I have the controller for the HD series of fans, not the SP. So I've got a controller, you'll see in the case that I've got the SP version, but this doesn't work. I've even got the wrong manual. So something went wrong here, and I haven't been able to use these fans because I can't get the RGB to work without the SP controller. But lucky for us, this case has those same fans and it has that controller. So I'm really happy that I'll finally be able to use these because I've had these for the better half of like a year and they've just been sitting doing nothing. So I can finally use them. I'm probably just going to go 2 exhausts at the top and 1 exhaust for the rear just to fill out the case, I guess. You can hide these cables a little bit. But yeah, that's my plan for the upgrades. Nothing too crazy. We're just going to pretty much keep it original but just make things a little bit better. Okay. NVMe SSD is installed and now we can move on to the fans. And done. I'm going to go wire these up, but then I'll be back with you to turn this thing on for the first time. Alright, we're about to turn this thing on after giving it a big clean, rebuilding it, unplugging it, and plugging stuff back in. But there it is, ready to go, and get ready for the moment of truth. Okay, here we go for the moment of truth. Oi! That looks so good. And would you look at that? That is a post. Yeah! Oh, those 3 fans, I'm not gonna lie, they added so much to that. The PC just looks so much more filled out. We can also control it from the case. So now we've got white. We don't have multicolored on the fans because they're quite simple and older RGBs, but man, I am so stoked with that. Let's go. So after setting the PC up, installing Windows 10, graphics drivers, bloatware, while I had it out, I decided, hey, I may as well use it for the rest of the day. So I put this thing to the test. I did benchmarks on both Cinebench and Heaven. On Cinebench, I got a score of 5,645, and on Heaven, I got a score of 2,016. And in Fortnite, I tested performance, DX11, DX12, all on epic qualities. In performance mode, I got an average of 160 FPS. In DX11, I got an average of 52. And DX12, I got an average of 23. And then it occurred to me that this CPU was not getting hot under load at all. It was like 45 degrees under load. That was like the maximum I saw it get to. And then I realized this is an 8600K. The K meaning it's overclockable. But I don't really know that much about overclocking. So I dug around in the BIOS and found we had a preset 5 GHz overclock. I read online that people had success around the 4.9 GHz mark with this CPU, so I figured, hey, this is pretty close to what I'm looking for. Okay, so we just put in our 5 GHz overclock, and you can see we have locked in at 4.97. I don't really know anything about overclocking, so I'm just going with the flow. I'm going to try to do Cinebench again and see if we see a difference in our score. Okay, we've never seen the CPU actually hit like 70 degrees before. I was actually really impressed here because we got a score of 6,929. Compared to our 5,645, I was so impressed with this. And for the sake of it, I hopped back into Fortnite and I was on DX12 with epic quality, but we didn't really see much of an improvement, and I put that mainly towards Fortnite's like a GPU intensive game over a CPU, so we pretty much averaged like the same 23 frames per second. I didn't really care that much, it's just Fortnite anyway, but the Cinebench thing I was very impressed with about this CPU. So that has been the 2018 PC, a PC that I thought was great value, and I had a really good time working on it, especially with doing a little SSD and fan upgrade. This thing looks seriously so good. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everyone who's watched this video, and if you liked it, please do, because I put a bit more effort into this one. I really just wanted to make a really good video, so if you can see that, please like it and subscribe if you wish to. But either way, thank you for watching.